guys? Welcome to Trading with Meatball. We're going to draw some lines on this chart for this BTBT, and I like to give credit to people. I don't do this by myself, but I'm just an old man that used to be a stockbroker, and I went through a divorce. So I'm flipping stocks again, and I'm sharing my knowledge for free because I got tired of the scammers and these so-called experts that blow up your account. And we got this from a nice guy. I think it was this guy. No, it was Maestro. I think it was this guy. Pretty sure he gave us the BTBT, but anyhow, you can check out and see who I follow. Yeah, it was him. And so I like to give credit to people who give me these picks, and then I draw the charts. So let's draw a chart. I was going to draw this one out anyway, so I figured, okay, let's make a video on it because people have been asking about drawing the lines. Normally, when we have something that's down in the shitter like this and it does a little pop, like right here, this is a dead cat bounce. And when I draw the lines, I usually use the 15-minute and the 1 hour. I don't know what this is going to look like on the 1 hour, but I want to catch that. I want to catch it when it comes off the bottom like that. So we'll do the daily, but it's going to be big on the 15-minute. So let's keep them small on the zones, right? We'll draw some zones too. And so when it bottoms out, this is the bottom, bottom, bottom. And you can zoom out is always the answer. And when it bottoms out, I don't want to draw the line there. I want it to do a pop first and then come down. And I want this part to draw the line off of. Why? Bill, I don't want the exact bottom. I want the bulk or the body of the movement. And so I would do something like this, like this. Okay. And notice how I cut off the exact peak of the wicks. And I want the body of the movement, which is this and this right in here. And so I cut that part off, right? And I want it to line up with this. Now, in this case, I am going to move the line all the way to the bottom. And let's talk about why. If you move it up just a hair, again, looking for the body of the movement right in here, okay? We want to line up as many points as we can. And so this wick right here is just about on that line. And we could probably move this just a hair like that. Okay. But again, the more points that touch the line or run along the line like this, the more accurate this is going to be. And we discount the wicks. We don't use the wicks. We want the body of the candles. And so I'm confident that's a good line because the stock is respecting that line and it wicks off it here. It rides it here for October and November and then curls up again. Now, this spike is higher than that spike. And I was looking at this, and that's why I decided to draw it out. And I put it in our Discord. Our Discord's free, by the way. And we share charts. That's somebody else's chart. And we're stronger together. Come join us, but you don't have to. I got a handful of guys in there I trade with, and it's free, but I don't need 1,000 guys. I just wanted somebody to hang out with and trade stocks with without the scams and people asking me for Bitcoin at 3 o'clock to get into their inner circle. And so that's why we do it for free. All right, so let's look at the lines, and this is a good one. I'm confident in this line on the daily, and we'll leave it just like that. Okay, and so I like to draw target entries on the 15-minute. Okay, and we like to look for zones. And when something's violent, it's hard to draw lines for target entry, and then they don't always come to our trend lines. A lot of times they don't. We had a trend line on Tesla and it didn't come to it. And I got the target entry right here on the 15-minute. I like to draw target entries on the 15-minute, but it didn't come down to our line. It was chopping the zone right here that we drew. Oh, son of a bitch, I messed up my line. All right, so it wicked off the top of our zone and we took the trade. It doesn't have to come to the arrow, okay? But when you're trading something violent like Rivian is violent, we draw target entries so we don't chase. Okay, let's do a zone. And so drawing zones, you want to look for chop, and here's some chop, right? And then you want to look for where it stopped, and it stopped there, there, and there. That's a good place, and it chopped there. So this is a good place to put a zone. And so here's chop, and here's chop, and this is a good place to put a zone. So let's keep it small. We'll just do something like this. All right. So I was looking right here when I drew that zone. Okay. And I want the body of the chop, not the wicks, but you can see how it stops here over and over. And then she goes higher. and now she comes down and she stopped there again. It's very likely that this could become support. And how do we know? Well, it's witchcraft, but let's look at the volume. Okay. And if you go to volume zoomed out, like a 1 hour or a daily, sometimes the volume will give you clues, right? And if you're looking for a reversal or a move up, look for places where the volume came up really high and the wicks came down low. And this is a good one right here. Right here. It wicks down hard and the volume comes up hard. Okay, there's buyers there. And it tried to come down lower and the market didn't let it because there was buyers. So anywhere you see the volume spike and the candle come down at the same point, there's something going on. And they did it here and then pop the next day, right? Or whatever this is, 15 minute. Yeah, that's probably the next day. And so this is clues. They're showing us cards. Okay. And you can see it ran here, and you can see this big volume spike right there was telling you it was going to go. All right, so let's draw another zone. I like this one right here. As it stops and it reverses right there, look to the right, and there's a little bit of chop there. And then you look to the right, and it wicked off there and stopped and rejected. So this will be a zone right up in here, and we'll do it. We'll put the zone right here, right about where she stopped. Okay, so when I drew that, I was looking at the top of this, and then I want to see, can I find chop or reversals in my zone? And we did find chop. Here's a peak, and here's a little chop. And then again, right here is a little chop, and then it spiked over it, and now it rejected it. And right here, it tried to go up, but it stopped. Now, this yellow line is the 20-day moving average, and the purple is the 90. We don't always use that, but it stopped at the 20-day moving average, which is common. And then right here, it wicked and rejected there. And so there's chop, there's a wick rejection, and there's a real wick with a reject. So we're going to make that another zone. I'm going to move it a little bit, I think, up maybe. And when I moved it, I was looking right here to catch the body of the chop. And it's probably kind of a big zone. We don't want the zones to be too close together, but I'm going off the chart and to hell with the consequences. I just trade the chart and we might tighten this one up a little bit, just so there's more room in between them. But we can go back and look at it later. If you zoom in, it's hard when you're looking at such a big chart. But if you, oh shit, look at that. That wick touched that perfect. I like this a lot. This is a good zone. All right. And so now we have some zones. And it looks like as it goes across like this, and you can drag it left and get answers. Okay, now when I drag it left, I was looking right here, trying to keep it the same size and the same level. And sometimes after you move them, you have to tighten it up. But this zone, when you drag it left, you get answers. And look at that. It stopped right there at the top of that zone. So draw your own lines and zones. It works. Okay. And I'll finish drawing this one out and I'll post it on our Discord. And as far as the 15-minute goes, looking for entries, I'm just trying to line up as many points as I can. And I see this and this is what I was looking at. I was looking here and here when I drew that line. And then I look over here to see, does it line up with something or does it mean something to us? And I'd really like it to touch as many points as I can, like here and here and here. And so we'll probably move it down a little bit. Why? Because I was looking right here and I really want that. I don't know how accurate this is, a young one here. When I say young, I mean the trend line's not very long, you know, but we'll see what it does. It looks like a banger setup. And thank you, Maestro. Give him a follow and a like. And you guys have a good weekend. Don't listen to anybody that tells you you can't do this because you can. Now, you drag the zones left to get answers, right? Go backwards in time. And so, son of a bitch, look how it stopped right there. You can do this, guys. Don't listen to people that tell you you can't, okay? And yeah, I share the whole screen. I just don't give a shit. Have a good weekend. I got to go shovel snow.